My name is Matt.
What year are you?
I'm currently in my fourth year.
Who is your PI?
My PI is Professor Jacqueline Gervais-Haig.
And what track are you on?
Organic.
Can we see your office space?
Yeah, come on in.
What time do you typically start your day?
I typically start my day in the lab around 9 or 10 o'clock.
What time do you typically end your day?
I try to leave before 5 o'clock. Sometimes the reactions don't want me to leave, but I try to go before the sun's down.
What, Mac or PC?
I'm currently a Mac person. I used to really be into PC, but then I got an iPad in my second year as a TA, and once I just got into that Apple ecosystem, I've just stuck with it. It's been a nice change.
Do you have a favorite coffee shop in Davis?
Yeah, currently it's Pachamama. It's in downtown Davis. They've got a lot of different types. I'm definitely a big coffee person, and I'm in a tea chemistry lab, so we're definitely in the beverage world.
What is your favorite element?
That changes, but currently it's nitrogen, just so essential for life. It used to be carbon, but there's just something about nitrogen that's super interesting.
Do you bike, drive, or walk the most to work?
I used to exclusively bike my first 2 years, but then I started driving every so often. So now, if I've got something to do after I'm done with the day in lab, I'll drive to campus. But it's 50-50 because Davis is just so bike friendly.
Do you still live in Davis?
Yeah, I'm currently living in West Davis. It's not too far out. It's just close enough I could still bike everywhere that I want.
Awesome.
Yeah.
How do you organize your week?
The main thing is it depends on my TA assignment, what class I'm TAing for, when my office hours are. So I try to keep all of my TA duties to 1 or 2 days, and then after that, I can carve out days just for lab. And I really just go by a week status because experiments can change, demands with midterms and exams. So I've learned how to keep really flexible.
Yeah, it sounds like you're really good at organizing your week. How many hours a week do you spend in your office?
In my office, it's definitely changed during the pandemic, but before, when I joined the chemistry department, I was in the office pretty regularly, getting to know the senior students. But now, as I'm approaching the end of the track here, I'm not really in the office at all. I've kind of learned, like a lot of people, to find office things that I can do at the comfort of my own home. Yeah.
How many hours a week do you spend in your lab?
In lab, currently, I'm spending about 50 hours a week in the lab. However, my PI, Professor Gervais-Haig, she's really instilled in me that it's not the amount of hours that I work, but it's how meaningful the experiment is that I'm doing and the impact that's going to take on my dissertation and my whole project. So I've learned how to make every hour count at this point.
Can we see your lab?
Yeah, sure. Come take a look. Yeah. I've lived on the East Coast and the West Coast, so I've seen a bit of both.
Do you prefer the East Coast or the West Coast?
Definitely the West Coast. There's just way too much to do here, not enough time.
What are some things that you typically do in the lab?
Typically, with my project, I'm working towards end goal multi-step synthesis. So a lot of time is actually involved in redoing reactions that I've done to get enough of an end product. But every single time that I'm doing those reactions, I try to do them a little bit differently, try to optimize them a little bit more, and I just learned so much that way, from whether it's an issue with purification later down the line, so I can remodel my entire synthesis by the time I get to the end. But it's really insightful to see the whole process.
Awesome. Do you have a favorite instrument?
Yeah, it's definitely our spin vac. It takes column chromatography test tubes and it puts them in a centrifuge and spins them all down instead of spending a lot of time rotovapping each fraction down.
Do you have, or what facilities do you use the most?
Definitely the NMR facility. As an organic chemist, I rely on the NMR to kind of be my reality check. So I try not to celebrate that a reaction has worked and that I made something until I see the NMR.
Where is the NMR facility?
It's in the chemistry building, not too far of a walk, in the basement, so everything's really close. Sometimes I need to use the 800 megahertz NMR. That's over in Vet Med, just a really quick bike ride.
Do you have a favorite restaurant in Davis?
I really don't. Davis has so many types of foods that it just depends on the day. It could be anything from In-N-Out to Thai food, to pho, or even Hawaiian food. So it always changes, depends on the day.
Nice. Do you prefer TAing or GSR?
I thought that I would have preferred GSR, but I'm actually really enjoying being a TA. Being at the frontier of chemistry can be super exciting, but it can also get tiring. And there's something about TAing to where you go back to the fundamental chemistry and really just the foundational level of chemistry that is what I teach in classes, but it ends up helping me a lot in the research lab because when I am in the dark and I have no clue, if a reaction's going to work or something like that, it's the fundamental chemistry that guides me on.
Other than TAing, what's your favorite thing to do in Davis?
Oh, there's actually quite a bit to do here in Davis. Really relaxing, low-key things like going to the farmer's market or just walking around downtown, grabbing a bite to eat or going on a walk. And there's actually a lot of trails here in Davis to be able to go out. But really what I like about Davis is I'm still less than 20 minutes from the airport, so if I want to go somewhere and travel, I can, or I could. And being so close to Lake Tahoe, I try to go out at least once a month. Sacramento, San Francisco, I just love how everything's here.
That's great. Do you have any advice for prospective students?
Yeah, if it was me personally, I would realize that the fact that I was accepted into the program, that meant that the faculty here believe that I belong here. And that really means that, I've shown enough in my undergraduate career to where they could see me as being successful here. And I wish I took that more to heart and really, just believed in that and had that confidence. So anyone who's a prospective student, just knowing that you got into graduate school already means that you're there, you're getting to that benchmark and just, keep moving forward. I like to tell my students in sophomore organic chemistry, like the only thing different between me and you is I spent 8 more years doing organic chemistry. You could be me, but do you want to spend 8 years doing organic chemistry? And that's kind of where I leave it.
Is that why
Yeah.
you chose UC Davis?
I mean, really, I had 2 amazing schools to choose between, and I just saw that I could see myself fitting into too many labs here at UC Davis. And I liked having many different options, and it was super exciting. And just the way that the faculty here talked about their research was amazing. But really what stood out to me the most is that the faculty here, they love their project, but they love teaching more. So they use their project as their fuel and their way of getting us to be, top level scientists when we graduate.